Jai Gurudev. Guruji, my name is Manjinder and I'm from Sydney, Australia. Thank you for your countless blessings and guidance. Guruji, my question is, how do our past life deeds impact our current life and what action can assist in achieving moksha? Thank you, Guruji. Sadar Pranam.
Manjinder ji, according to law of karma, whatever you have done in the past life continues to affect you in the present life. In fact, our life is being manipulated by the dead past. Doings of the past life become a pattern, a structure, a habit, a character, and you are doing nothing except repeating the same in this life. Day after day, life after life, we continue to be affected by the same. The past life creates groups in the mind, and in the coming times, we just start looking like a robot and acting and living like a machine. In this way, without doubt, our current life is impacted largely by the past life. In this way, the deeds of our past life have a great impact on our current life. But our present life karmas are in our hands. If we handle them in a certain way, we can change their impact and we can become totally free from whatever we had done in the past. However, if we fail to act in a certain manner, in that condition, we will become a victim of our past deeds and they continue to affect our life. However, one very important fact is to be expressed at this point, and that is the law of karma exists only for those who are living this life unconsciously. Only unconscious acts become karma. Unconscious act means you are not acting according to the needs of the moment. You are being pushed to act by the pressures of the past karmas in a specific manner, and out of your unconsciousness you are continuously going ahead to do it. A conscious man, on the other hand, looks into the specific dimensions of the present moment and he does not simply react, he acts according to his own discretion. He acts according to his own awareness, and therefore, if you live consciously, you will not be affected by the karmas of the past life. That is why an enlightened person is always unpredictable, whereas the unenlightened one, the unconscious one, always acts on a certain specific pattern. All his moves are predictable. In fact, he does not act, he simply reacts. For example, somebody loves you and you love him. Somebody hates you and you hate him. If somebody praises you, you become expanded like a balloon. That is why buttering continues to be pursued on the whole earth. According to law of karma, you are solely responsible for your life. Whatever you are doing, you are bound to receive its consequences. Therefore, you will have to accept your responsibility about your whole life. According to law of karma, you are solely responsible for your life. Whatever you do, you are bound to receive its consequences. In fact, you will have to accept your responsibility. If you do not accept your responsibility, you will continue to suffer. If you accept your responsibility, it simply means that you know that you have caused all the sufferings of your life. Since you have been the cause of your suffering, therefore you can stop being the cause of your suffering, and therefore you can end the sufferings of your life. If somebody else has caused the sufferings in your life, how will you be able to stop him? How, if somebody else has caused your suffering, you will not be able to change it. And since you will not be able to change it, you will continue to suffer. All the enlightened masters of this earth have been declaring it wholeheartedly that you can change your whole life, that you can undo all the past influences of your life, and therefore you can attain the state of blissfulness, you can attain the state of everlasting joy, you can attain the state of enlightenment. But according to you, always it is the other person who is responsible for your sufferings. He should have done something otherwise, and if he had done things otherwise, your suffering would not have happened. This is a wrong attitude, a wrong approach. Hence, change your attitude, because only you are responsible for all your actions and for the whole of your life. In India, the law of karma has been prevailing since the past 5,000 years ago or even before. But we have interpreted this beautiful doctrine in a very wrong way. Instead of holding us responsible for our life, for all our actions, we hold the law of karma responsible for all our life. We have been holding that our present life is the result of our past life karmas. It is because of the law of karma that we are bound to suffer in this life, and nothing can be done to change this life because of the law of karma. Because of the deeds which we have done in the past lives, we are bound to suffer in this life. And we hold the concept that as long as we are alive, there is no possibility to bring about any transformation. Whatever good deeds we do, we will be able to reap their fruits only in the future life. In fact, this is an effort of the elites to maintain a status quo of the society. If the East has been poor up till now, the religions of the land had been responsible for this. Those who are poor, they are poor not because of the law of karma, but because they are carrying the conditions of their life. People have been suffering because they did not take the initiative to change their lives. They did not take the initiative to rebel against the prevailing conditions of exploitation. As against this, the law of karma gives you total freedom to act in the present. You can act in a certain way to change the impact of the past life karmas, and thereby you can bring about a total new dimension in your life and a new prospect in your career. Secondly, the law of karma should not be treated as a system of reward for the good deeds or punishment for the evil deeds. In fact, law of karma is a scientific law of action. If you do good karmas, you will intrinsically be rewarded, and the bad karmas have their intrinsic punishment. Now there is need for revolutionary insight about the law of karma. The East should be told and properly educated that a transformation in their approach towards the law of karma has to be brought about. Our deeds are intrinsically good or bad as regards their consequences. In fact, intervention of death is not needed to reap the consequences of our acts. We are rewarded and punished by the quality of our actions immediately and intrinsically. For example, an old person has fallen on the ground. Out of love and compassion, you have lifted him and helped him to be comfortable. Now, in this act of lifting and helping the old man, you have already gone through some sort of inner joy, and your act has itself been intrinsically rewarded. Suppose you are passing through a swimming pool and you have seen that a small child is drowning there, but you proceeded and neglected the child. Now, when you are reaching your house and lying on your bed, will you be able to have a sound, comfortable sleep? The very act of neglecting the drowning child will be prevailing in your mind and hurting you from inside out. The quality of karma has intrinsically affected you adversely. Likewise, suppose you are passing through the fire and fury of anger. Will it take another life to come to be punished for your angry attitude? No. When you are passing through the fire of anger, the poison of anger is prevailing in your physiology. It is killing you from inside, and the anger as usual is creating the havoc in your life. It is bound to make you repentant, because every time when you had been angry, you had to repent. Anger is poison. While you are angry, you are suffering the negative dimensions of this act. While in anger, you are already being punished. So, intervention of another life is not needed. While doing the act, in the process itself you are affected. Reward and punishment is intrinsic to the act itself. Therefore, the misinterpretation or the wrong interpretation of the law of karma must be avoided to save humanity from the clutches of suffering. You have asked Manjinder, what actions will assist you for the attainment of liberation or moksha? I want you to remember the words of Maharshi Patanjali, who says, Man's life is a dream, and this whole world is a drama. And it is so just because we all are living unconsciously. So the only way to become free of this whole drama of unconscious living is to practice living with awareness. The only way out is to practice living consciously. And for living consciously, you have to practice meditation. And along with meditation, you have to practice inner cleansing. Only then you can get rid of the grooves of the past life actions and actions of this life up till now. Once you start living consciously, you will find that pleasure and pain will both disappear. You will find that good and bad will both disappear. If you start living consciously, you will find that you have transcended the dualities of life. And once you transcend the dualities of life, peace happens, silence happens. In this profound silence, truth becomes your own experience. Bliss becomes your own experience. Consciousness becomes your own experience. And in this way, truth, bliss and consciousness, what we call Satchidanand, becomes your own experience. Thank you.